Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a box? The box of your parents' expectations, society's box, a box that you put yourself in? Well, I think that some boxes are meant to be outgrown. When I was younger, أنا كنت people pleaser جدا جدا جدا. كنت بقعد أفكر طول اليوم إزاي ممكن أبسط ده وممكن أبسط ده وممكن أبسط ده. This really led me down like a very anxious path, where I turned out to be an extremely anxious person. وأنا anxious جدا دلوقتي فالموضوع يعني ماشي مع بعضه. بس basically يعني I felt like never having time for myself really drained my energy, and I ended up focusing all of my attention on other people. So I never really knew what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, and I never really had time to think of any of those things anyway. So when I would go home, when I was younger, I used to sit down, and I used to sit in my room, and I used to write. I used to write poetry, I used to draw, and I used to sing. So when I was younger, I found out that I could sing, and I participated in all of the school musicals that you could think of until the age of 11. When I moved schools, I completely lost all of it. I got stage fright, I feared everything that you could think of, and I lost myself in the process. So I stopped singing, I stopped writing, and I kept drawing at a minimum, but when I started like getting through life, you know, I just got back to it. But it was not until I was 16 that I actually told someone I knew how to sing, and I posted my first story, but nobody really like focused or nobody really cared, and neither did I. And when it was 12th grade, someone recommended me to sing at my graduation. And in my head, all I could think of was, okay, I'm gonna go on stage and I'm gonna sing, and this is going to be my moment. Little did I know, it wasn't my moment. I was looking for validation in the wrong place, or so I thought. When I went up there, I felt absolutely nothing. I didn't feel like I needed anyone's validation. I didn't feel like I was looking for validation in other people. I was looking for it in myself. I was proud that I took the step forward, that I said yes, and that I was able to sing at my graduation. And it stopped there. I didn't think of it much longer. And you know, feeling like the people around you don't really support you isn't the best way, you know, to move forward with the things that you want to do. So as I like transitioned into university, I changed the people around me. In my second year, I was surrounded by a really bad crowd, and it all fell to ashes when quarantine hit. But that was the start of everything good, to me at least. So كنت بقعد في الأوضة بتاعتي بقعد أغني وبقعد أكتب, I started really rediscovering الحاجات اللي أنا بحبها. And in February 2021, I posted my first real video on TikTok and on Instagram. And at the time, I had just hit 2,000 followers, and I thought, mind blown, this is insane. So I continued, and one by one, I started posting more and more, and people would start distancing themselves. I felt like being a content creator isn't cool, it isn't hip, it isn't زي دلوقتي. So I lost a lot of people during my path to doing that untraditional thing that everyone thought was extremely taboo, and I found that people started unfollowing me. Some people blocked me, and that really shattered my self-esteem, but I decided I still needed to do what I wanted to do. So during this phase in my life, during quarantine, I started watching Gary Vee's videos. And Gary Vee was my idol. If you don't know him, he's an entrepreneur, and he's an entrepreneurship coach that basically tells you, you do what you want and you go after what you believe in, because if you don't, you will spend the rest of your life regretting it. If you stay in your parents' shadow, if you stay in a circle that you know doesn't bring out the best of you, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So I watched those videos, and I continued, and I pursued, and I started posting more singing videos and writing my own songs. And step by step, I found that it was true. I could do what I wanted to do all of this time. And so I took two untraditional routes. I decided that I wanted to become a singer, and then I decided that I also want to do content creation since I loved being on camera. Now, there was a reason for this. Remember how I told you that I was an extreme people pleaser growing up? I feel like that automatically translated into my head into like, I want to be heard, I want to be seen, I want to be on screen. And I thought that was every child's dream. Every child's dream is to be famous and to want to be on camera and to live a glamorous lifestyle. But as it turned out, it wasn't every kid's dream. And the reason it was mine is because I didn't feel heard and I didn't feel seen. So, back to the time when I was in quarantine again, I used to listen to karaoke songs religiously. If you don't know Gary Vee, I'm sure you know karaoke. So there was this song that I would sing, and I started singing on my TikTok, and like people would come up to me later on in the street and tell me, oh, you're the girl who sings مهما كان ليلك طويل كل حاجة بتعدي مهما كان حملك تقيل كل حاجة بتعدي لو عينك غفلت كل حاجة بتعدي لو الدنيا غفلت كل حاجة بتعدي. And it was my favorite song. So I just started doing my own thing, and I really, really improved. And in my head, that one step that I wanted to take forward, I took. And although it wasn't really that easy, I let everyone's expectations of me go, and I stepped out of the box that I accidentally put for myself. Because when people see you a certain way, you automatically start seeing yourself in that way. And when the 5 core people around you view you in a certain way and tell you you dream too big and your reality is absolutely ridiculous, you start to believe it. And so I let it go, and I let them go, and I found the people who I would put in my inner circle around me, and they led me forward. So a few months ago in June, I was in my last semester of university, and I had a marketing job at this agency, and I absolutely hated it. And in my head, there was this voice telling me, do it. Do what they're doing. You can do it better. They're older, but you can do it better. And I struggled to stay in that place, and I struggled to feel contained like I used to feel contained before. So I quit my job, and that night I was at the gathering. ولقيت واحدة بتقول لي أنا فتحت كذا كذا، وكانت بتحكي لي عن البيزنس بتاعها. فأنا قعدت كده أشاور عقلي شوية، قلت طب ثانية واحدة، لو أنا عملت business دلوقتي I would hold your social media accounts, would you let me and I will do it for free? قالت لي That night أنا أصلا ما كلمتش الagency تاني. I quit my job and I started to do my own thing. وقررت إن أنا أفتح business وأفتح شغل بنفسي. هيتعب it's extremely taboo لأن your parents and the people around you in general think that leaving university and getting a 9-to-5 job is extremely, like it's the normal thing to do, and it's extremely crucial for your CV and your portfolio to be successful in the future. But I didn't believe that, not one bit. وبصراحة it hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies and daisies ولا أي حاجة خالص. بتعب جدا I work day to night. It's not the easiest thing, let me just say, but I decided to do it, and I'm going to be eternally grateful to that decision, which came from Gary Vee, so I think I have him to thank بعد كل ده. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I just knew that doing a 9-to-5 job and doing all of these things that society had put out in front of me and told me, هو ده الطريق اللي انت لازم تاخديه، خديه. قررت ان انا مش هاخده, I'm so glad that I didn't do that, because I'm sure لو انا كنت خدت that route ان انا I would have been an extremely unhappy and dimmed version of myself, and I'm eternally happy that I didn't ever get to meet her. These are the ways that I escaped the tradition اللي حواليا. What are yours? Thank you.